The mysterious structure at Abu Gwash, Egypt, has baffled archaeologists since its discovery in the mid-1800s. It is believed that the massive limestone blocks at the site are all that remains of an ancient pyramid that stood over 200 feet tall. But much about the pyramid, including what was behind its destruction, remains shrouded in mystery.
Mainstream Egyptologists say that the Abu Gwash pyramid was basically dismantled to build other pyramids, and that the stones were then taken away and put in some other structure. We know that some of the stones were used in other structures, but to dismantle the entire pyramid for that seems incredibly difficult.
Dismantling a pyramid is actually much more difficult and trickier than it seems. They are 4 to 5 ton blocks put perfectly together to create a pyramid shape that lasted 4,000 years. They're not easy to dismantle.
The only recorded attempt to deconstruct a pyramid took place in the 12th century, when Egypt was part of the Islamic Empire. Egyptian Sultan Al-Aziz Uthman ordered the pyramids to be destroyed because they were an affront to his religious beliefs. He began with the smallest of the 3 pyramids, but soon learned that removing the stone blocks was far more difficult than he had anticipated.
They could only remove about 1, maybe 2 a day. And as soon as they prized them off the side of the structure, these huge blocks would just fall down into the sand and be lost and be almost irretrievable. So after they'd been doing this for around 8 months, Al-Aziz said, look, enough is enough. We're just going to have to just stop this. The result of this reckless work that was done at this time has left this huge gash on the northern side of the 3rd pyramid, which is visible to this day.
While more than 8 centuries have passed since Sultan Al-Aziz abandoned his attempt to destroy the pyramids, experts suggest that even today, using modern machinery, it would take more than 23 years working around the clock to dismantle the Abu Gwash pyramid. So if the pyramid wasn't taken apart on purpose, what happened to it? Some researchers believe the stone blocks themselves provide an important clue, because curiously, many of them are severely burned.
What's really strange about it is some of the limestone at the site, and some of the granite, in fact, that have been kind of almost look like they've been superheated.
We have what looks like charring of the rock. There may have been vitrification where the rock was hit by intense heat and turned to glass and then basically fragmented away. One speculation I have is that Abu Gwash was hit by major solar flares that happened around the time of the end of the last ice age.
A solar flare? While it's a sensational notion, many researchers believe a cataclysmic event, like a solar flare, triggered a global climate change 12,000 years ago. And what's even more remarkable is that geologist Robert Schoch claims to have found evidence that the pyramid of Abu Gwash and structures on the Giza Plateau were all standing before this event occurred.
I've suggested that the structures on the Giza Plateau actually have their origins much earlier. I'm not denying that the dynastic Egyptians were there, but they reappropriated these structures. This began with my work on the origins of the Sphinx. When we look at the Great Sphinx of Giza, what we find is that the core body and the walls of the Sphinx enclosure were weathered and eroded by rainfall, by water runoff, not by wind and sand as you get in a hyper-arid desert Sahara condition. What this indicates to me is that the origins of the Sphinx go back to pre-Sahara times. The Sahara Desert's about 5,000 years old, and the level of erosion indicates it goes back significantly earlier than 5,000 years ago. Putting everything together indicates to me that the origins of the Sphinx and the three major pyramids on the Giza Plateau go back to the end of the last ice age, back about 12,000 years ago, or about 10,000 BCE.